You're listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Well, welcome, everybody. This is the Live Jazz Experience Podcast, and this is DJ Lady Praise. And on the other line, I've got the DJ Jazzman. Are you there?
What's up?
Hey, what's going on? All right.
Doing well.
All right,
In
well, this evening
C-Town.
we got with us in C-Town. Yes. In C-Town, yes. Yeah, C-Town is quite chilly and quite rainy, but all is well in C-Town, in Chestertown, on the eastern shore of Maryland. So, hey guys, on the other line we've got Christopher Jacobs. He's the manager of Women of Strength Ministries.
Yes,
is that
ma'am.
correct, Mr. Jacobs? Welcome
Yes,
to our
ma'am.
show.
Right. Thank you. Glad to be a part of it. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. So, hey, let's go ahead and get started. Hey, so I've got a question. So please tell me about Women of Strength.
Well, the Ministry of Women of Strength was born in April 2003 under the guidance of God and myself. And we are here from Columbia, South Carolina. Been singing about 15 years.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. So, so I understand you're the manager, and so,
Yes,
and I've just let me get you one of your songs because I listened to one of your songs, the song that they did, All Right. I really like that song. So, did you write that song?
No, ma'am. We had a writer from out of North Carolina. His name is Mo Amp Smith, and he's also the musician for Pastor Ricky McDuffie and the family from Bishopville. He also the musician, but he was the writer for that song. Yes, ma'am.
So, how long did it take you? So, you guys had to go to North Carolina and record that song, or did you record it locally right in South Carolina?
We did it here in Columbia. On one our anniversary, we had the group to come, and as they got finished performing, I sat and talked with him about writing a song for us, and that's how we was able to get the song. He went back home and called me within the next week, and he had the song written for me. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's incredible.
Ma'am.
So what instrument do you play? I understand you manage, but you also play an instrument. What instrument do you play?
Yes, ma'am. I'm the minister of music. I play drums, guitar, keyboard, organ. I'll be 50 April the 7th, and been playing about 47 years. I say about 47 years I've been playing.
Wow!
Yes,
well,
ma'am.
Praise God and happy early birthday.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: so, as management, so what do you find most challenging when managing a group? And this is a two-part question. So that's the first question. So in the second question of the two-part question, so do you manage others as well?
For the first part of the answer is very challenging because I manage a all-female group, which all of us is family. The lead singer, Atonia Jacobs, that's my sister. I also have my fiance that sings with us and a niece and two cousins. So it's very challenging managing 5 women, and I'm the only guy. I also have another musician. He's a guy, but it's very challenging. But I can say that God has had His hand and still have His hand on the ministry after 15 years. It's been a blessing. Now,
so
managing,
this is really just a family group.
Yes, ma'am. Right. We all are PK kids. My mom, she was a well-known pastor here in Columbia. She passed 9 years ago and left a legacy and a vision here in Columbia, South Carolina for us to uphold for her. And it's it's been an awesome task. It's been challenging also, but we're doing a great blessing here in Columbia, South Carolina. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's a blessing, yeah. So, as a musician, like I said, you've been doing this for I think you said 47 years. So,
yes, I've been playing
do you find it hard managing your craft or maintaining your craft, or have you just try to go and hit the drums and then the guitar and then the organ, or how do you do that?
I want to say about me being a minister of music at one church for 25 years, that speaks volume. Loyalty, and have had a lot of churches to try to pull me from my church. But one thing my mom always taught me to be a blessing to others. And even when her ministry was going strong, she gave me the option, as a son. She was like, you can either play for me or you can go play for this other church. She said, you can't be two places at one time. And I chose to go somewhere else because I didn't want to see myself receiving the love offering from my mom's church. But being a minister of music it's been a blessing. I have traveled all over the world. In my family, there are nothing but preachers, pastors, musicians, singers, you name it. We have it all. So I've been doing this all my life, and I wouldn't have traded for nothing else. I love what I'm doing. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Well, praise God. So is this your day job?
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I have a job that I work Monday through Friday, which I've been there for 20 years. I'm a delivery route driver, and thank God that they understand and know the gift that I have and the anointing I have on my life that I does a lot of ministry here in Columbia, South Carolina. And I'm able to leave on a Friday if I have to travel and come back on a Monday and still have a job. They respect and honor God real well to be able to let me do that. Some jobs don't allow you to take so many days off and this and that, but they have been a blessing to allow me to travel and do what I have to do for God and still have a job when I come back. Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's wonderful. That is fantastic. Wonderful. Well, Christopher, what we're going to do, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we're going to go into introduce Jazzman come in. Thank you for answering my questions. I'm going to have Jazzman come in, and he's going to do a little bit of a featured artist this evening, and then what we're going to do after he comes back in, we'll come back in and ask you some more questions, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Hold on. Hey, Jazzman, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Yes,
so who's your featured artist this evening?
My featured artist this evening is the one and only Walter Beasley.
Oh, take it away.
All right. Before I begin, the reason I picked Walter Beasley is I feel that, and I'm sure some of the listening audience in Maryland, that it has been a very warm winter. And Walter Beasley is a smooth jazz artist. And when I think of smooth jazz, I think of warm weather, spring and summer. So that was one of the reasons why I chose Walter Beasley. He's one of my favorite smooth jazz artists. Then who is Walter Beasley? Walter Beasley is a popular saxophonist and singer with a mellow R&B influenced style. Walter Beasley has led a successful contemporary and smooth jazz career. Following his emergence in the late 80s, he balanced his teaching career at Boston's Berklee College of Music with issuing a steady stream of lyrical, groove-oriented albums like 1997's Tonight We Love. And if the audience want to know, when did this artist make an impact in the music industry? It started in 1987 at the young age after graduating at 22 years old. 2 years later, he returned with the album Just Kicking It, Both of these albums showcase Beasley's broad stylistic influences from jazz and funk to R&B, and found him both playing sax and singing. Now, I am impacted by this saxophone and his vocals, and if you listen to Walter Beasley, I highly recommend that if you want to first get the first CD and the CD from 2015 called Black Streams, you will get a steady dose of the true Walter Beasley sound. In 2010, he came with the album called Betcha. Several live albums followed before the studio date, I'm Back, appeared in 2015 on Beasley's own affable label. He's a very impressive musician because he owns his own label, he owns his publishing rights, he does the vocals, he hires who he wanted to do vocals for him when he just had the instrumentation. 2 years after he issued Blackstream CD, his new 2019 CD is called Going Home and included guest appearances by Phil Davis, Derek Cannon, and Tress Gilbert. Also that year, he guested on bassist Byron Miller's #2 Billboard charting smooth jazz song called The B-Spot. And ladies and gentlemen, I highly recommend the one and only Walter Beasley. If you get a chance to see him live, you can check his tour dates, and I highly recommend him for the spring and the summer. And if you want to hear smooth jazz music all year round, I highly recommend that. But that's the short version of the bio of Walter Beasley.
Well, thanks, Jazz, man. Appreciate that. Excellent. Actually, we featured him on the Sunday Jazz Experience radio show, so we play him a lot all the time, so he's very good. Yeah. So do you have questions? So we're going to get back into asking questions of Mr. Christopher Jacobs of Women of Strength. So do you want to ask some questions? You have questions for Mr. Jacobs?
I have several questions for you. How you doing, Chris, the maestro?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Jazz, man. That's what they call me here in Columbia, South Carolina. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. Now, Brother Chris, I have to ask this to you first. Now, as a manager, exactly what are your duties and responsibilities as a manager? And the second part of that question, does your management supersede your musicianship with the group?
Oh, you got me thinking that. First of all, the manager position role for me is to when we're booked for programs and shows, is to make sure that everybody is protected. They are taken real good care of. By me being the only guy plus maybe one or two other musicians, the group is an all-female group. And I like to make sure that they're protected, because it can be very hard out there for female groups out here on the road, and I'm very protective of them, because I would not like to have to call anybody's parents and let them know something have happened. So we're very protected group, and a lot of times we do prayers a lot and have people always praying for us while we're on the road.
Okay.
I also have been blessed to be in connection with Mr. Brian Irby, and I've been knowing him going on a year, and since working with him, he have helped me in a lot of this management position, business-wise, because all my life I just knew music and just know how to play music. I didn't know the business part, and since connecting with him, he have been a blessing to our ministry as far as the business part and also as managing for the Women of Strength. Yes, sir.
And the second part of that question, does your management supersede your musicianship with the group?
I wouldn't say so. Like I was sharing with Lady Praise, I'll be 50 in April the 7th, and I've been doing music for 47 years. And my mom, she was a well-known pastor and evangelist here in Columbia, South Carolina. So growing up, all I knew was church. All I knew was music. And I traveled a lot with her. And by me being very well known here, as you had stated, the churches in the community gave me the name the Maestro here in Columbia. So my music have been more effective and more bigger than the managing. I really just got into the managing part maybe about 15 years ago with the Women's Strength.
Oh, okay. All right. Excellent. In terms of, so you really acting as also like stage manager because you handling security, everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
oh,
sir.
You doing it all.
I do it all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Does it all.
And by the way, I love that name, Maestro. I like it.
Every year here, sir, in Columbia, I had a cousin, David Lakin. He passed 10 years ago, and he was also a awesome, well-known organist musician here. And every year in April, I does a Chief Musician Award that I give at least 7 to 8 musicians awards on my birthday. I have had a lot of people to give me slack on why are you giving, awards on your birthday. That's your birthday. But as I stated earlier, my mom, she always instilled in me it's best to give than to receive. So that Maestro name stands a lot, and also just being a person that gives back to the community. I does it all also, sir. I love what I do.
Okay. Okay. Now, Brother Chris, do you okay, I see where you play the drums, the guitar, the keyboards. Do you also write music? And if you do,
no,
do you write it? You don't write music?
No, sir. I have rearranged some tunes for the girls, but I'm not a writer. No, sir.
Have you ever tried?
No, sir. No, I don't have that gift yet.
Oh, okay. Now, Women of Strength are known for gospel. Now, have you all ever ventured to other genres, or have you thought about it?
No, sir. I have a niece that sings on the group. She has a awesome vocal range, awesome singer, and maybe once her season is up with her, she's only 16 years old. Once her season up, I don't know where God would lead her. She has the vocal to do other genre. And I also have another second lead singer. Her name is A.C. Corley. And in college, her 4 years there, all she did was tribute to people like Shaka Khan, Sunshine Anderson, Aretha Franklin. She also has an awesome vocal ability. So her father and all have always tried to push her to go and do other genre of music, but she sticking firm in faith with quartet music. So I look like that's where we gonna be.
Okay, yes, sounds good to me. All right.
Yeah.
And one more question before I turn it back over to Lady Praise is, what is the most profound lesson that you have learned from being a manager that you didn't know before you became one?
Profound lesson.
I mean, something that you really like, I did not know that, but it's almost like a lesson, not just being in music, but a lesson for life, just being in management, something that you saw, experienced, that really stuck to you, that encouraged you.
More of
that you wouldn't have known if you were just doing the music in.
Being a blessing is one, I would say. I've always been a blessing to people, but just knowing that the more I bless people, God always turns around and bless me back. Also, patience. I've got good patience, but being a manager with a female, all-female group that, that doesn't, female groups just don't have the props and all like the male groups. So just being patient with a lot of things and just receiving God's blessing. I've learned that a lot.
Well, you know what they say, patience is one of the greatest virtues, right?
Yes, sir. That's what they say. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, but thank you very much for answering the question. You are very profound. You are a phenomenal musician. Also, you're a great manager because you got to manage the group and play. So you're a quick learner. It's good. I also feel, too, Brother Chris, it's good that you've had sort of a mentor that can help you along in it in terms of a manager. A lot of times that's a blessing in itself because it's hard to get mentors or someone that's willing to do it.
That's right.
But back to you, Lady Praise.
Okay, thank you, Jazz Man. So, Christopher.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have a question. So if you could, and I usually ask all my guests this question. So if you could pick one person in the Bible to sit and talk to, who would that be and why?
Ooh. Lady Praise, Lady Praise. Lady Praise, you will have to give me another one. Let me come back to that one. It's
okay, all right.
Give me another one, Miss Lady Praise. I'm sorry. Give me another one. I'll come back to that.
All right, cool. Okay, all right. So tell me this. So if you could look back and tell your younger self 10 years ago, 15 years ago, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, do I tell my younger self 10 or 15 years ago? I would tell myself that kind of most 10 years ago I lost my mom and she has been a big influence in me with music and all. And back then 15 years ago also the founder of the group, the Gospel Legends from Columbia, South Carolina. We all started out in my mom's church. And 15 years ago, all I wanted to do was just travel. A lot of time I would sneak out my mom's church and meet the guys somewhere, and we would go hit the road to go sing and travel. And I wasn't there for my mom like I really, really wanted to be, because only thing I wanted to do was travel and play quartet. And by her passing 10 years ago, I regret some of the stuff and the decisions I made concerning the music and the quartet. But I see now that 15 years later that God also blessed me with my own ministry, and that how we have been a blessing to a lot of people. I see myself growing a whole lot, because back then the only thing I wanted to do was just travel. My mom really needed me, there for her with the ministry. But I've grown a lot. I've understand and seen a lot of stuff that I didn't know 10 or 15 years. And I just thank God for all that He's doing for me. Yes, ma'am.
Praise God. Yeah. So let me ask you this. So what for someone that's really going to try to get into the music industry, and you've been in it for so long, what advice can you give others who want to looking to step up into that management and that dual role of musician management? What advice can you give up and coming artists or even managers?
Well, for one, they have to put God and keep God first in everything that they do, and stay prayed up. It's good to know about all of that, but then still, like I say, through all these years, I had to learn the business part, and that's when God blessed me to cross paths with Mr. Brian Irby. So they would also need to get someone that knows that business part of the music industry and know the history and all. So mostly, if they keep God first and stay prayed up and trust God. It's a lot of trust and faith into this music ministry. But as long as they do that and also have a good mentor, I believe they will make it. They will definitely make it. Definitely make it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Great. So can we go back to my other question? Have you thought about the answer for that question?
Oh, no, ma'am. I haven't.
No one person. Okay. I think I stumped you. Okay.
No, ma'am.
That's a hard question.
It is, because it was a lot of great people in the Bible that did a lot.
True.
And
True.
If I could just sit in the midst and just be in their presence, it would blesses me. But just like one particular one, it would be hard to just pick one. I would love to have been one of the disciples, just to travel with Jesus and just be in his midst. It would be a great experience. It would have been a great experience for me.
Wow, that's great. Yeah.
Yes,
okay. Well, wonderful. Well, Batman, do we have you on the line? Do you have any questions? Well, thank you, Christian, for answering my question.
Batman is here.
Again, Batman, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. Well, Mr. Jacobs, I'm a tech guy, man, and basically since I've been managing the podcast for the last 7 years and in the television, I have an opportunity to meet a lot of artists doing some phenomenal things, man, and get a chance to, listen to you guys talk about, some of the challenges and some of your triumphs. Now, recently, we went to predominantly downloads now with the streaming technology, and I just want to ask you, has that affected your group, or you guys primarily just performers? Because I know it's a difference than having recording artists and performing artists. What do you guys prefer? And has the streaming technology affected you guys as far as the CD sales is concerned, or making money in the industry?
To be honest, Mr. Jazzman, we're just getting into this streaming thing. I know we've been singing for a long time, but like I say, when we first came out, it was just all about just saying that we have a CD. We didn't know no business, no ideas about charts and the digital stuff or whatever. But like I said, by us crossing paths with Mr. Brian Irby, this project that we have now called Miracle, which was dedicated to our 3-month-old little girl that we lost in the family. We dedicated that project after her, and since becoming part of One Nation Under God family, God has opened up a lot as far as the streaming of that project. Wouldn't have known nothing about all of this, until getting with Mr. Bryan. He really, really, really have been a blessing as far as the business part of this musical journey, because we didn't know nothing about it. We was thinking making CDs was all, that's what it was all about.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. It's a lot of moving pieces to it, and but it sounds like by you guys getting experience, like most successful artists, you get most of your experience in the church, and it sounds like you guys have been doing it for a very long time. It sounds like you're ready for this, and that's one of the things that as a a television producer, we're always looking for seasoned artists that can handle being in front of the camera. Yes. And I find out the ones that were kind of brought up in the church, they just so comfortable with their worship service that it's it's like a walk in the park for them.
Yes, sir.
So it's always good. It's always fun to watch you guys be creative when it comes to doing the music videos and everything. So looking down the road, where you see you guys, doing music videos, traveling more, doing showcases, award shows?
We're again. I still have to give all a lot of praises and props to Mr. Bryan Irby. Since joining with him, we just got a email from him that we have been nominated for at least 8 different award shows.
Wow.
For this year. It was various award shows, and again, we wasn't, we had done award shows, but to actually be nominated for a lot of this stuff, we never thought we would be able to. We hear about it. I hears about it. I've been doing quartet all my life. That's all I do is quartet. But to now be a part of award shows and nominated, it's a dream come true. We're also in the process of waiting for this weather to act right to do 2 videos for 2 of the songs that's on the CD.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a journey, sir. It really have a lot of stuff that's been happening for them. We wasn't expecting. We was just some PKs, some church people that love to sing.
That's right.
That's all we was doing. But now a lot of stuff has been coming. The doors have been opening. Again, all props to Mr. Bryan Irby of One Nation Under God Records.
That's right. I must say, Mr. Irby is on the grind.
Yes, he is.
Between him producing music workshops to get you guys to understand the industry and the moves, the ins and the outs. He's very transparent, with his clients, and he does whatever he can to get you the amount of exposure that you deserve. And we really appreciate you coming here on the Live Jazz Experience, and we hope that we have an opportunity to meet you at any one of the award shows. We're probably planning to do more visitations into the award shows probably in 2021.
Yes, sir.
Because I already kind of know which ones that we do, because the popular ones, they're starting to get a little closer to where we are, because we've been traveling in the South for a while. But, man, we really appreciate you coming on, man. So any final words you'd like to tell our listening audience, about where you guys are going to be the next few months? You have any tours planned, tickets, people can meet you on the cruise ship or whatever?
All of that is coming in place. We're looking for all of that to happen real soon. But I want to say thank y'all for having me on. And like I said, this is a talker. I'm not too much of a talker. This is really my first time even doing a interview of the group on the radio. So again, like I said, a lot of this stuff is being new to me through Mr. Bryant. But we're looking forward to coming up north, up in the Baltimore area, New Jersey, New York. I'm sure he's going to make sure that we come up there. But,
yeah.
If a lot of them can go to One Nation Under God Records Facebook page and pull up some information on the Women's Stream. They also have a Facebook page and Instagram and all of that. So
awesome.
It's a lot of information on there. If anyone would love to get in contact with us. Yes, sir.
All right. And can people find your music on streaming platforms?
Yes, sir. It's on all digital outlets. We have a project called Miracle. It has 4 songs on it. Again, you can go and download that. We have a single that's out right now called All Right. Lead vocals, Lamont Graves. He's also the second lead singer for Flossie Boy Smith and Favor from Bishopville. So, yes, we have music on all digital outlets. They can go ahead and find the Women's Stream.
That's right. They'll be able to hear it right after this broadcast. And again, we appreciate having you. Lady Praise, do you have any final words for Mr. Jacobs?
Well, Mr. Jacobs, we really thank you very, very much for coming on our podcast this evening. We really appreciated all the knowledge you were able to drop in to the audience and for the audience. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Yes, man.
All right, Jazz, man, you have any final words for Mr. Jacobs?
Yeah, Brother Jacobs, I want to say we greatly appreciate for you coming on the show. And by the way, it was your first interview, but you did an excellent job. You answered the questions. You answered it thoroughly. You did very well. Nice conversation. Wish you all the best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you.
And peace and blessings.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Amen. And we hope to meet you soon, Mr. Jacobs. I can't get those girls out of my mind with the pretty yellow dresses on your flyer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I will let you know. Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. That concludes our broadcast. And again, thank you everybody for joining us at the Live Jazz Experience. You can find the DJ Lady Praise and DJ The Cool Jazz Man at WKHSradio.org on Sunday starting at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And when you tune in, Lady Praise will drop the phone line, and you can call in and leave questions for DJ Whisper or DJ King. Amen?
Amen.
Amen.
All right.